Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Saturday morning, Raith Rovers. Raith Rovers at home against Celtic. I've still got the predicted team. I've still got the predicted team on, and I think that that may be the team. Maybe the team. I'm not too sure now. After Schmeichel, I need to take that one down. Actually, I need to change that to Sinisalo. Oh, not that. Well, that's cocked up, didn't it? This is going to take about a second or two. In fact, if I just cancel it, it won't save it, won't it? Yeah. And if we go back in and then change it to Sinisalo, because Sinisalo is going to start today. Yep, Sinisalo is going to start today. And Brendan Rodgers confirmed that yesterday. So, how are you all this morning? Just while we update this. Lord text, Schmeichel, change it for Sinisalo. Job done. It's a good one. It is a good one. We're live, aren't we? Not even checked yet. Good morning, Cineres. I think Baz will start 9 or be late. I was bang on 9 o'clock. What are you on about? I was bang on 9 o'clock. Anyway, Chris Scott is try that again, shall we? It's one of those mornings. Anyway, Celtic take on Raith Rovers this afternoon. And of course, it's the Scottish Cup. We begin our defence of the Scottish Cup against Raith Rovers from Kirkcaldy in the 5th round tie. And it's a trophy that we've won quite a few times. And Raith Rovers will be massive underdogs as Barry Robson brings his side. I think they're sitting 6th or 7th in the Championship. I'm not too sure. I know that they're not up the top anyway. The kick-off time is 5:30 tonight, and it is on Premier Sports 2. Premier Sports will get this coverage starting at 5 o'clock tonight. And if you want the BBC highlights, they'll be on at 10:20. And Raith Rovers Celtic team news. We all know that Kasper Schmeichel, who has a back strain. Now I think that the back strain is a bit more of a problem than what Brendan Rodgers is letting out, because remember that Kasper was missing from training. Was that last week? Last Friday, I think it was. Kasper Schmeichel was missing from training. And Brendan Rodgers just says, look, come on, he's 38-year-old. Just give the guy a break. He needs a rest now and again. And it could be the fact that that's all it was, but I think that it's time. It is time to give Sinisalo his chance, and it's time for Sinisalo to shine. And hopefully he does that tonight. Now, the predicted lineup, as I have along the bottom of the screen. Let me just get this up again. It's obviously Sinisalo in goals. Ralston will get a run out. Scales will get a run out, I reckon. Trusty will get a run out. Schlupp will get a start. Arnie Engels. Will Arnie Engels start in midfield? Paolo Bernardo will get a start. Luke McCowan. Maybe it will be Engels. Maybe Engels will start. But then again, no, I'm going to change that. I am going to change that from Engels to Kalmak. Yeah, I'm going to take Engels out of the team. I'm going to say Paolo Bernardo. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to say Kalmak. Kalmak to start. Bernardo, Maida, Kenny, and Yang. Would you drop Tyson Maida and give him some rest time? The Duracell. I think you need to keep some consistency to the team. You need to keep some consistency to the team that can do it. There will be a lot of changes in the game. No James McCarthy, the guy who deserves a chance. Yep, I think Jota will get a start. Yeah, Sarah, you're maybe right about that one, actually. I would drop Jota and drop Jota for Maida. Yeah. Hoping we get Queen's Park in the next round. Could you imagine it? That would be good. That would be good. So, Brendan Rodgers yesterday, he had a lot to talk about. He was talking about Sinisalo, who's getting his first debut. The Finland goalkeeper prepares to step in for Schmeichel, who's got a wee bit of dodgy back, and I know at that age, so Schmeichel will sit this one out so that he's expected to be fully fit for the big game next week. It was interesting that the Brendan Rodgers interview started off with, "So, Brendan," in a female voice, "how's the squad for the Champions League looking? Is there any changes?" And Brendan Rodgers sits and goes, "What?" I thought I was here to answer questions about Rafe Rovers. You got to love Scottish media, don't you? Do you think that the mainstream media sit before a press conference and the pull straws out about who's going to ask the first question, and then they go, right, you're on the first question. Right, who's going to ask the most ridiculous first question? Right, that's the question. And I think that Brendan must sit and go, "The hell is wrong with you people?" Do you know what I mean? The Champions League games, it's miles away yet. In football terms, it's I know it's only next week, but I mean, you've got to get past Rafe Rovers first in the cup, and the Scottish Cup is part of a treble. We're aiming for a treble. We're not going to win the Champions League, so you forget about that. That's just an extra game. And we'll be lucky not to get absolutely hammered. But to come out with that as the very first question, I thought was absolutely nuts. And the look on Brendan's face, I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. I did think the look on Brendan's face when that first question came out, and I was just like, usually it ends in a bad way, but today it started in a bad way. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. And then Brendan Rodgers obviously went to talk about various players. He was asked in length about the Greg Taylor situation, which he managed to deflect in the right way. So, and I think that Brendan Rodgers is deflecting the Greg Taylor story. He is trying to play it down a bit, the fact that Greg has maybe allegedly signed this contract, but I think it's common knowledge that he's probably signed this contract and he wants away. Because let's face it, Greg Taylor can't get a starting lineup in the Scotland squad when Kieran Tierney's fit. There is absolutely no chance that he'll get a starting slot on a regular basis. Now, Brendan Rodgers has to do what any manager would do and come out and say, look, there's room for two of them. But who cares about that? Who cares about that? Because Schlupp will be starting today and Greg Taylor will be on the bench. Square Sausage Mick, I hate Rafe Rovers. Mate, I know folk for Kirkcaldy that hate Rafe Rovers. I know folk for Kirkcaldy that hate Rafe Rovers. And yeah, Dortmund will be in the final. What, Dortmund Celtic in the final? Not a chance. So anyway, Bayern Munich will take care of itself. Sinisalo will start. Schmeichel will be back for the Bayern Munich game on Wednesday. Rodgers says that Schmeichel won't play any part. So the keeper will get his first game. This is his first game, isn't it? It's his first game for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers did confirm that Schmeichel will be okay for the game on Wednesday. Sinisalo's been capped 3 times for Finland. Finland do see him as the one for the future and their first team. But it's going to be interesting to see him play a full 90 minutes to see how good this young keeper is, because he was brought in with a bit of fanfare. And it will be interesting to see how he goes up against Barry Robson's team. Barry Robson's team. He said about Barry Robson, Rodgers, he says, I look forward to seeing Barry. I was really disappointed for him at Aberdeen because I think he stepped it up. He done a really good job. He did do a good job at Aberdeen, but Aberdeen go through managers like anything. The challenge in Europe for any club is really difficult. He done so well in his time there that he qualified Aberdeen into Europe. Yeah. We forget that about Barry Robson, but he is at Rafe Rovers now. It's a bit of a climb down for him, but it's good that he's still in the game. So, Celtic are 14-1. They're only 14-1, and guess who's on? Guess who's on VAR today? Guess who's on VAR? The referee will be Chris Graham, is the match referee, with Andrew Dallas on VAR. Yes, Andrew Dallas is on VAR today. Celtic are 14-1. The draw's 14-1. 1-14 are Celtic. 14-1 is the draw. Rafe Rovers are 35-1. If Rafe Rovers are putting a tenner on that all day long, you get some mad Rafe Rovers fan putting £100 on it. Especially at those odds. Somebody will stick a fiver on it anyway. Many will do. They're going to lose their money, but we'll know that. Anyway, never forget my stay missing that penalty. Don't talk about that. This is revenge. Do you think Sinisalo will be number one when Casper goes? Yes, that is the plan. That's always been the plan at Celtic. That Sinisalo was going to be brought in and he was one for the future. He's not going to be a Scott Bain type player and that's going to stick around at Celtic for many, many years. And he was brought in to be a future. Celtic did a good thing when they brought in the two of them in the same summer. You got to remember that they brought in Sinisalo first, and then they brought in Kasper Schmeichel. And Brendan Rodgers wanted to bring in an experienced goalkeeper that could help Sinisalo in his football education. So, and people forget that. People do forget that Sinisalo was brought in before Kasper Schmeichel that summer. And that was the reason that Schmeichel was then brought in, to steady the ship after Joe Hart leaving, and for it not to be as big a shock on Sinisalo to have so much pressure on a young goalkeeper. So Brendan Rodgers was the thinking of, let's get in Schmeichel. I know I'm inside out. He'll be great for the team. He'll be a great adversary and teammate for Sinisalo. He'll be able to give him his advice, his worldly advice of all the years that he's had. And it was almost like just a continuation of Joe Hart being still at the club. I mean, that's the kind of information that Joe Hart would have passed on to young Sinisalo. So I think that he is one for the future, and he will take over the sticks when Kasper leaves, and then you'll get one of the young Toby, remember, is also out at loan at Dunfermline. And I reckon that he will come in. I reckon that young Toby will come in and be the number 2 at Celtic when Sinisalo becomes number 1. So that it is Celtic aren't going to have to go out and spend $4.5 million on a goalkeeper again. That is absolutely rank rotten. MT Celt says he reckons it's going to be Sinisalo, Ralston, Murray, Scales, Sloop, Turley, Bernardo, McCowan, Maida, Kenny, Fang. Kenny Fang? You mean Yang? So yeah, I think that Sinisalo will be first choice goalkeeper. And other Celtic news, I see that one site's still trying to talk about a summer move for Mateus again. Do you think that we should really... I mean, is Mateus Witzgarden really that good? Really that good? A striker that we've been after him for years now. Celtic aim to land at Danish striker next season. And Rangers are going to go after... Rangers are going after a certain Heart striker that becomes a free agent this summer. Is Mateus... Celtic were last month linked with Mateus. They were linked with David Strelec of Bratislava. Do you think that Sinisalo, he better turn... See if he does come to Celtic, Mateus. A move for Witzgarden. They'll be wanting even more in the summer. Do you think? Listen, I don't even want to get into that. Baz, Celtic are 1-25 on the site you're looking at, Tommy. Celtic are 28-1. Rafe, there you go. I'm looking at a different site. What site was I looking at for it? It was oddschecker.com I was checking, because I don't bet, so I'm not a betting man. Who's on VAR? Andrew Dallas is on VAR. Who do you think is on VAR? What do you think will be the predicted scoreline? Celtic Rafe Rovers today. You've got to remember it's going to be a much changed team. I'd love them to go for Shankland, who's now facing the fact he's just another Diddy SPFL team. And it looks like they are going to go for Shankland, according to some people in the media. It wouldn't be surprising if Shankland does end up at Rangers. He's crap. Come on, Shankland is a shadow of the player that he was years ago. He's absolutely rank rotten. And it will be hilarious, because it'll be a continuation. The meltdowns will start again. We've not had a meltdown video for a while. I've not been checking their scores, to be honest. I can usually tell if they've been beaten, and then we'll go and have a look at some meltdown stuff. But yeah, they must be living and the knowledge that there's no meltdowns happening. 14-0 says Parkhead Boy. Let's start getting some scores in. Placid Dude is going for 5-0. Mark is going for 5-0 in second gear. I think that Barry Robson will set up Rovers to have a go. Barry Robson will not want to come back to Celtic and just sit back and defend and hope for the best, because Barry Robson will know that if Rovers do that, Celtic are going to annihilate them. If Rovers try and Celtic annihilate them anyway, but it's going to be a good one to see what the scores will be. Square Sausage Mick is going for 5-0 the Hoops. Alan reckons that Shankland deserves to go to that club, and they deserve him. He's a free, and Rangers have no budget. Sky Sports Baz. Sky Sports, there you go, Tommy. Did they do a betting bit? I never even do that. Stephen Johnson, good morning to you, Stephen. You're going for 5-1 Celtic. There's a 4-1 coming in, a 5-1 coming in. Sinisalo hat-trick. How is the Wraith's size? I reckon 4-0 with the second string. 4-0 says Jerry. 4-0. Will it be 4-0? I'm going to get to that in a minute. Because I think I would without seeing the team. 7-0 with a disallowed goal. And remembering for Andrew Dallas is on VAR, I am going to go Celtic before the team has come out. I reckon it might only be 3. This may shock you. I'm going to go for a Celtic 3, Rafe Rovers 0. I think that Barry Robson will try and play the team as defensive as he can, but he'll also try and have a go. And it's only going to be 3-0 because of the changes. I think it's only going to be 3-0 because of the changes that's made to the team. And it's not going to be anything that Rafe Rovers are pretty much going to do. I think it'll be if Brendan goes with all the changes that we thinking about the Champions League on Wednesday, I think that it may only be 3. You never know. Scott Bain to come on in the second half. Don't say that. 7-0 and 10 disallowed goals, says Richard. Billy Gray's going for 4-0. Jim McClarty's going for 4-1. 4-1. No, I don't think so. MT Celtic Rangers had to sign a free Dundee and wait till the summer to get him, as they can't afford to buy him. Mark, that's tame, Baz. I think it will be tame. Mark, I think it will be tame. I think that Rafe Rover, you've got to think back to the League Cup and the changes that Brendan Rodgers made to the Falkirk game. And I know that we beat Falkirk, but it was at 5-2 or something. And we stood up that game. But then Brendan Rodgers made the changes in the second half to make the scoreline look a bit better than it was. You've got to remember that. We weren't that clever 7-1, see them sneak a goal in. Luke McCowan for a goal. 4-1, 4-1. 5-0, Kenny for 2. McCowan to score 2. Alan Stevenson says 4-0 Celtic despite Dallas. Rangers can afford Greg's sausage roll. Rovers will need a brick wall. Maida hat-trick. I don't think Maida will start. I think that Maida... I don't think Maida... Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Jota... I'm going to change that. I think Jota will start ahead of Dice and Maida. That's the wrong one. Yeah, I'm going to take Dice now. And I reckon Jota will come on and get some game time. So I'll just change that. So I reckon Jota will start to give him 60 minutes or so that he is up to speed for coming on in the Champions League. And obviously Brendan Rodgers was asked about changes to the Champions League squad, and he said, look, there's no changes. That's it. He said he didn't have the sheet, but obviously the new guys that came in. And some of the younger players in the squad will be in the Champions League team. So Sinisalo, Ralston, Scales, Trusty, Schlupp, Kalmak, Bernardo, Luke McCowan, Jota, young Johnny Kenny and Yang to start the game for me. And then there'll be many, many changes in the second half when things aren't going as well as Brendan Rodgers may have thought it would go. There shouldn't be too much change in the way that the team play. 2 goals for Kenny and 1 for McCowan. If Yang starts today, does nothing again against lower league opponents, you have to question why Rodgers is preserving with him. I think it's the fact that we haven't been able to get players in to get Yang out the door. And Brendan says there is a player in there. And I think he's given Yang as much opportunity as he can. Yeah. We couldn't lose 2 wingers in that transfer window. We couldn't lose 2 wingers. We'll wait till the summer for that one to happen. Maida must start as Jota and Kuhn need rested for the midweek game. Jota he's not 100% match fit. So Jota needs to start, if you ask me, so that he can get some game time. Schlupp gets a goal today. It was interesting to notice the manager says that Celtic went for Schlupp in the summer and they couldn't get him, and that's why they went for Alex Bain. That was interesting, that. They tried to get him in the summer. I wonder if they tried to get him on... That'd be an even bigger slap in the face to Greg Taylor then. The fact that if Celtic went to get Schlupp in the summer and they were going to be paying 30 grand a week of his wages, considering he's on 60 grand a week. And it's no wonder Greg Taylor's like, I'm not sticking around here to play back up to Tierney when he comes in. When Tierney's going to be on 35 grand a week. I mean, Tierney's taking a massive wage cut to come to Celtic. And Greg Taylor's like, well, they're not going to offer me 25 grand a week, so I'm not coming. I'm not going to stay around and play backup. But anyway, will Jota be eligible for midweek? Yes, Marky will. Brendan Rodgers says that the only changes to the squad are the new guys that came in. So Johnny Kenny will make the squad. And Schlupp will make the squad, and Jota. That's the 3 that will make the change, which means Daniel Cummins will get dropped from the Champions League squad. Daniel Cummins only played because we didn't have a striker. So you'll get Johnny Kenny coming on, and it's going to be quite a step up for him. Scott Bain livid. He's been recalled. Need to cancel his half-term break in Tenerife. Scott Bain would... I'm amazed that Scott Bain... I mean, he's been at Celtic for so long now. So long. It is going to be one of those who won more medals than they played games at Celtic. I mean, his game to trophy ratio must be something weird. I'm sure one of you will find that out. I mean, Scott Bain's game to trophy win ratio must be ridiculous. Must be completely ridiculous. And that'll be a pub question quiz for many years to come. And I don't think he'll be in Tenerife because he's in training every day. Other Celtic news that's kicking around. The 2014. I'll just see this. Celtic's last home games. Right, the last 8 home games. Celtic are winning on an aggregate of 29-0. 29-0. Wow. That's 29 goals have been scored over the last 8 home games. I'm just reading that on Twitter of a guy that I follow. I'm just reading about the coefficient. And the Champions League, I think they were getting 3,750 away tickets. 3,750 away tickets for Bayern. That's an interesting number. 3,800. Now, people going on about the disciplinary. Saying that they don't hear about other clubs. Now, Roma have had a partial stadium closure for one match. That's came out. FC 20 have also had a partial stadium closure. And that came out on the 5th. Decisions affecting attendance of supporters. Disciplinary matter. Frankfurt, Roma. FC 20 have had a €30,000 fine and partial closure of the FC 20 stadium behind sections 102 and 106. I take it that's that ultra section. And FC 20 £5,000 fine also for failure to comply with UEFA safety and security regulations. AS Roma have been fined 30,000 and ordered to partial close of their stadium and their North Curva Nord sections 46 and 47. The club match against AS Roma. The next club match, which AS Roma will play as a host club, they're getting banned. They have a section of the stadium closed for lightning and throwing fireworks from the crowd and disturbances. So yeah, there is just some of the fines that have been given out by UEFA this week, because I've seen people online going, why does nobody ever talk about other clubs? Why have Celtic got the worst reputation in Europe? Well, Celtic don't have the worst reputation in Europe when it comes to fines and things, and it's a thing that the Scottish media does put out there. So there is just an update of, I think that's all that's came out this week. Eintracht Frankfurt, 20,000 fine and partial closure of the stadium. Why is that not shutting now? See, the BBC site is just crap. Anyway, Mr. Andrew Loudrup Dallas on VAR. Yep, they need to stop the treble or else they'll have a big payout for Clement. I'm not even wanting to think about that. Bain, 63... You're kidding on. Smitty. Bain's had 63 appearances and 13 trophies. That is complete bonkers. 63 appearances and 13 trophies. Scott Bain has a world record for appearances versus trophies. Scott Bain needs a medal just for that himself. I'm going to copy that. Oh my God, thank you for that, Smitty. I'm going to send that to the lads on WhatsApp. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. that is absolutely crazy statistics. Scott Bain, 63 appearances and 13 trophies. It has to be a world record. It has to be. There's no other player in the world that can have so many trophies. We have a world, that has to be a world record. Surely it has to be. Somebody, Smitty, go and have a look and see if that is a world. That has to be a world record. Scott Bain has now entered the Guinness Book of Records. Well, Celtic fans drink Guinness to their heart's content when they're at games. Scott Bain, how many goals has Scott Bain scored? Yeah, up your raging away to play the PlayStation because I can't get my Celtic team. That's a trophy for every 4 games. It's bonkers. The statistic is for Scott Bain is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to put that up on. That's just nuts. Played that many games. I'm going to put that in. And Bain, 63 appearances and 13 trophies. Unbelievable. That's a stat and a half. Right, let me just get some Celtic news. Celtic's significant squad rotation, said Brendan Rodgers. And it's something that we've done right throughout the season. We've managed to rotate the squad on an ongoing basis, and it will be no difference today, considering that Celtic do step up a gear again, going from playing in the Scottish Cup and playing a team in the Championship to having to up it to the highest level. It'll be interesting to see how many fans are at the game today with Celtic, considering the home ticket cup scheme is well subscribed to. Just there's news coming out. I don't know. The start of something good. This is time that Celtics turn up, and it is the charge for the treble now. McCarthy had more trophies and appearances. No, he didn't. McCarthy did not. Not a chance. Scott Bain's been here before McCarthy. Get rid of Bain and give the wages to Taylor, says Peter King. Made a fortune spectating. Yep, it is. Scott Bain's made more than... Scott Bain must make more than Thogden. Thogden makes more a month. If you don't know who Thogden is, he's a YouTuber that is an English YouTuber that's making around about 80 grand a month or something on YouTube. The Rangers fans, I have no idea. Not even looking for that. Anyway, we will be live when the game starts at 5:30 today. We'll be live an hour and a half before the game. When the team news does come out. 6:30. So it will be 4 o'clock. We'll go live at 4 o'clock Celtic Park time. And then I'm going down to the Hoops Bar to watch the game. How many games did he have? James McCarthy. Not too many, but you've got to remember, James McCarthy was nowhere near the podiums towards the end of last season, was he? Because must have sold name on the strip. Bain makes more than the green grade. Scott Bain only doing what Ralston is doing and getting far less time. I wonder what's Tony Ralston's game to trophy ratio is. That'd be an interesting one. That'll be an interesting one. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. I've been on for half an hour. That's more than enough, considering you could talk about what Brendan said yesterday, but everyone would have watched it. And it's all about, I can't believe there's still people going on about transfer speculation and transfer windows with a certain player that he's going to be priced right out of our bracket come the summer, surely. Anyway, I'm just getting, where's that come from? Have a fantastic day wherever you are. If you're going to the game, make sure that you wrap up because it's going to be a bit cold tonight. And Celtic Park at that time of night on a Saturday. Unbelievable. Have a fantastic day wherever you are. Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to